Welcome to San Joaquin Spotlight, a public affairs program featuring conversations about life in the central San Joaquin Valley. This program is brought to you in partnership between KFSR 90.7 FM and CMAC Fresno. I'm your host, Sevag Tateosian. Today in the studio, we have Casey Lamonski. She is with the Lyles Center for Entrepreneurship. Casey, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Lyles Center, what kind of organization is that?
Oh, wow. Well, we have lots of really awesome things that happen at the Lyles Center. But the Lyles Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship is on Fresno State's campus. We have entrepreneurship education for preschool through 12th grade. And then we have some community...
Preschool, I got to stop you there. Sorry for the
That's all right.
interruption.
It's okay.
Preschool,
yes.
What are you teaching preschool kids about entrepreneurship?
Okay, so what we teach them from the preschool through the 6th grade level is we really focus a lot on innovation and hands-on activities, teaching them science, math, technology, leadership, communication. So really that foundation to get them started to be successful in the future. We do have some things that we do with them where they get to invent a toy or something, and then they get to name the toy, and they get to price the toy, things along those lines. So we give them a little taste of the business aspect of with that. But our preschool through 6th grade stuff is really a lot of hands-on innovation stuff that we do with them to learn different ways of doing things.
So this may be off-topic question, but do you believe that taking a child at kindergarten or preschool, they can learn to be entrepreneurs at that age?
Oh, I think that there's, you can learn to be an entrepreneur, but I think being an entrepreneur is something deep inside. But we think that we give all of these kids an opportunity to try it. I mean, it's kind of like when mom was feeding you peas. You got to try it before you say no to it. But giving them the foundation for the innovation stuff, to build stuff with their hands, to learn the science behind, when you drop a Mentos in the Diet Coke and it explodes everywhere. How does all that stuff work? It just really helps them round them out. So
it's a big group that you just mentioned. I mean, you're doing some pretty cool things with a lot of students, it sounds like. So who teaches them? I mean, who's the one that actually teaches these kids?
It depends on the program. Our young kids, it's called our Kids Invent program, and we have staff that is trained in the program and the curriculum to do it. We also will train the instructors at the schools, and then it could be a Sunday school will train their teachers and their staff. So we have a couple options in that, whatever fits that organization's idea the best.
So let's say we have a school, a small charter school or community school or general, large school, and a teacher comes to you and says, you know what, I've got this pack of kindergartens. I want them to learn whatever you're going to teach them. Do you teach them?
We have that option. If they decide to go with that route, we can come in, and we're actually working on stuff like right now with one of the districts on that, where we train their teacher, because the teacher in the classroom, and then we come in and help facilitate it. So we have some options on how to do it in the classroom.
We were talking off camera about some cool projects some of your students have done. Talk about one of the projects that they've done.
So within the Lyles Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, we've got a high school level entrepreneurship program, and then we have our community college level, and then we obviously have Fresno State's entrepreneurship program. And one of our success stories on a student starting a business and being successful with it. She's from Reedley. She started the program, graduated from Fresno State with her entrepreneurship, and has a company that is called the Caramel Company. Miss Tiffany Lowe is doing that, and she took her mom's caramel recipe and turned it into this business.
Don't you love that?
I do, and I have to tell you, they're the most addicting caramels I have ever had in my entire life. She had sent me a message this morning and said, I have an extra pound of this specific type. Are you interested in it? I said, heck yeah, bring it on over. I'll buy the whole pound. But they're very addicting, and it's that whole kind of idea that you start something with just an idea and mom's recipe, and it turns into this big thing. So
she's out and she's being successful.
Yes.
Where can we find some of her products?
She's got products. You can order it online through her website, which is thecaramelcompany.com. She's got caramels in the Holiday Boutique, which is through Children's Hospital's, one of their fundraisers. I also think she's got it at one of the local hospital's gift shops. But the best way is directly through her website. And what's great is she makes it as you order it, so it's fresh and good to go.
So we're hearing a lot about the economy. Do you think that people can make money in today's economy by starting a business?
Oh yes, I do. If we look at the history of the United States, how was the United States economy created? It was by entrepreneurs. It was by the people who decided that we needed to have a railroad that went across the country. So yes, and I think the statistics are 80% of the world's, the United States economy is coming from small businesses. We really use our students and their skills to grow that. We're not creating jobs, we're not giving our students jobs, we're helping them create jobs for others.
One thing that I saw on my Facebook page that someone had forwarded to me is something that has to do with ducks and quacking. Now you have to tell us the story about this.
Okay, so we have our youth entrepreneurship program, and one of the things that we look for is guest speakers to help inspire these kids to become entrepreneurs or be successful or look at a new opportunity. And most of the students are familiar with the Duck Dynasty reality TV show. Well, Duck Dynasty has a really amazing entrepreneurial story. The father, Phil, started it with the duck commander with duck calls eons ago, and then his kids went off to college and come back and help him get it built up, and it's turned into this multi-million-dollar business. And so they have really resonated with our students on this whole story. And so we have decided to start trying to get them to come here and share their story with our students. It's the Quack Attack Fresno, Bring Duck Dynasty to Fresno. We've got a whole social media campaign on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. What's been really great is the support we've gotten from the community on it. When the mayor of Fresno came up and said, "I'll do a quack shout out on video."
You even have the mayor doing a quack for this Quack Attack.
Did a Quack Attack shout out for us on video, and that's on our Facebook page. So I definitely encourage you to check it out. So.
You have a conference coming up. Talk about what this conference is and how can people find out more information about it.
Well, besides just the entrepreneurship education component of our center, we have our community side that we do. And we work with local people who want to build their business, who may need a patent or who may have a business and not quite sure how to make it grow. So we have put together the Central Valley Venture Forum in partnership with the Central Valley Fund. And we, for the whole day, have panels featuring a Hispanic business panel. We have a women-owned business panel, agriculture business panel, and then we actually have a showcase where 5 startups get to pitch to these venture capitalists that have come from all over the valley to hear these pitches. And they hear their pitch, and we've actually had funding from some of these venture capitalists come through for these pitches.
So basically, let's walk through the day of this event. I'm an attendee. I get there. What do I see first?
Well, the first thing you're going to see is me at the desk taking your name and giving you your name badge. That's the first stop.
You're going to be very busy, by the way.
I'm going to be very busy doing that. And we start with registration and networking, and then we go into a panel on the women-owned business, and then we have actually an amazing keynote speaker, Mr. Ronnie Lott, who's a former 49er football player.
Athlete.
Yes, and he is an entrepreneur, and he's going to speak. We've got kind of a coffee talk kind of an idea going on with him, very similar to what you and I are doing right now, an interview. And then we have another panel with our Hispanic business owners. We break for lunch, because I do feed everyone lunch. Full bellies make happy people. And during that, we have Jeffrey Michaels, from the economist from UOP, who's going to talk about the economy and what's going on and so forth. And then we come back for our showcase.
Is there a fee to attend, and how can people attend?
Yes, there is a fee to attend. The entrance fee up till October 15th with our early bird is $70 a ticket. It includes the whole day of the forum plus lunch. We do offer a student rate. They just have to have a valid student ID of $25.
Wow, that's a huge difference.
Well, starving students, we understand. And we want
that's an incredible opportunity for students.
Well, and just to be connected with some of these venture capitalists that are looking for things to fund, it's important. So we have that through October 15th. People can get tickets at valleyventureforum.com. They can call the Lyles Center. We'll help them through it if they need it.
Your intent with this is not to make money, honestly, right?
No.
What are some of your goals?
Our biggest goal is to bring the venture capitalists here and see that there is some amazing talent and businesses coming out of the valley and connecting with that. That is the number one priority.
So are the students that are going through your center, do they have great ideas? I mean, tell us about these stories. And the reason why I asked that question, and I know it's a silly question, but a lot of people out there criticize our youth. Oh, they're not intelligent. They play games all day. Yes. All they want to do is text message. But you see some pretty creative students. Talk about that.
We do. We see a lot of creative students. And we see students who come to us who are part of some of our programs, they go, I have no idea what kind of business I want to start. And you start talking with them and you find out that they may have a hobby of making duct tape purses just for fun. Okay, that can be a business.
Which, by the way, I'm interrupting you again, but I saw something online on my Facebook page of duct tape dresses.
Yes,
so what you said is correct.
Yes, and so sometimes just giving them the knowledge that their hobby can turn into a business, and we really encourage them to look in their community for opportunities. I always give the example of the big garbage cans that have to be behind the fence now.
Yes.
You know, is there a business opportunity there if you live in a neighborhood with maybe some older generation for $5 a week to move their garbage cans to and from the curb? And then, like, the light bulb goes off. You mean I can make money doing that? Yes. So we see a lot of things. We see everything from the cupcakes to chocolate-covered strawberries to our student from last year from Reedley High School started an event venue. So it's a wide spectrum. And then when you get into college, most of them have kind of grown out of the I'm going to bake cupcakes, and now, like, I'm going to have a bakery and I'm going to grow from that. So
Generally speaking, someone comes to you with an idea. Do you tell them to go to school or what? Talk about that. And you're laughing.
That's the you know the put the horse before the cart kind of a question. Education is important because, you know, if you don't have the skills and the foundation, the last thing you want to do is go and invest, you know, $500,000 of your hard-earned money or some bank's money and not know what to do, kind of thing. So you need that type of education. Is college for everybody? No. But it's important. You know, some type of education course is important. It can be a workshop. It can be different things. So we are all about education in all types of formats, online, workshops, etc. So.
Talk about the young success story that came out of one of our rural towns. I read it in the newspaper, and I thought it was pretty cool. And from what I understand, he's doing very well.
He is. Aaron Chavez, who was a student at our Reedley College campus, the community college, was enrolled in our entrepreneurship course. And I don't think we have ever told anybody to stop coming to school. But we encouraged him to focus on his blog that he had started with 3 million followers. And he was selling a lot of advertising, and it was taking a lot of his time. And we encouraged him to focus on that and do that, and still in contact with us. So he did all of this and did it, and he actually co-founded this amazing company called Sevenly with a guy out of Orange County, and their whole concept is changing the world and giving back. So they are a for-profit company that benefits nonprofits, which is a really cool concept. They have a different shirt every week, different charity, and $7 of that week's charity goes to that week's charity, so that sale.
So we purchased the shirts from the company,
yeah.
And then $7 from the company's profits,
Yes.
or whatever, go back to the nonprofit.
Yes, and they are just going into, I believe, their third year and have already given $2 million plus to charity.
That's incredible.
It's just kind of thing. And Aaron is an amazing person, a true entrepreneur at heart, is always looking for the next business that he can start. He's working on something now that's really cool. And he's just this guy from Dinuba that started
and he's
something.
Young,
and
too.
he's young. I'm going to tell you, I wish I had what was in his bank account at 21. But he's that kind of story that comes out of our centers and stuff.
So let me ask you a question. A lot of times, some young adults or some teenagers won't be confident in their idea. They won't think that they have what it takes to make this idea successful. Why should they come forward with that idea?
Because there is no such thing as a bad idea. That's my first thing. It's kind of like you're never going to know if you don't ask. And there's always an idea that has legs. Sometimes it's not always feasible at your age, because for me to be the next big Wolfgang Puck
Right.
at 18 is probably not going to happen. But maybe I can start with something else and build up to something along those lines. So we don't think that there are any true bad ideas. It's a chance to have them come in, we work with them, we help foster some of their creativity, and sometimes taking that really big idea and scaling it down to a smaller level so that it's something they can accomplish today.
Is there a cost to this? I mean, if I have this great idea and I come to your organization, are you going to charge me, or how does that work?
There are some options on some of that stuff. We have within our high schools and community colleges, obviously there are classes and things that have some things. You're always more than welcome to stop in and say hi to us and kind of throw some ideas out, and we'll talk through some stuff. When you get into a little bit more of the feasibility studies, you need now to file for an LLC, there's usually a cost associated with that. It's minimal but it's there.
You mentioned something earlier that I want to hit on, patents.
Yes.
How important are they, and should we worry? I mean, let's say that I invent this thing, or I have this beautiful idea. Should I worry that someone else might take it?
Competition is a good thing in the marketplace. It helps keep our economy strong. If you're looking for a patent and you've got an invention, it's always a good idea to patent it. It protects you and it protects your invention. We have patent lawyers that we work with, that we connect with for that stuff. If you've got an invention that you don't think anyone else has, I would definitely encourage you to patent it.
And then, silly question, but how can I be sure that you're not going to take it and we're not going to see Casey Lamonski with
I'm the next big invention stealer here. We actually we have non-disclosure stuff and things along those lines. So.
And talk a little bit about this area. Are we seeing inventions come out of here that hit it big? I mean, you mentioned one, but generally speaking, do we have a lot of inventions coming out of here?
We do have a lot of inventions coming out of here, and we have a lot of business growth coming out of here. I was in New York last week for one of our business plan competitions, and I was talking with somebody, and we were joking because he was eating Chinese food. And I said, I guarantee you that Chinese food container came from the Central Valley. We are actually 90-something% of the world's Chinese food takeout containers are manufactured here in the Valley.
Well, there you go.
See?
Facts on San Joaquin Spotlight.
So we really do have some amazing things that come out of here. There's also Polestar was started here, which is that amazing company that focuses on venues and concerts and ticket sales and stuff. They were started here. So there's some really great things coming out of here. We are the leader on water technology. I mean, we're the only place in California that has the water technology incubator.
Well, so you're a big marketing person, I learned from our talking. Then are we not marketing ourselves right? Because why is it every time someone talks about Fresno, it's always the gangs, the drugs, the air pollution? I mean, look at how many Chinese food containers, and I guarantee you Chinese food is being eaten right now as we speak somewhere.
Yeah. I think part of that is that they're just not asking the right people. I mean, it's my job and it's the community's job to be out there touting the really great things that are happening. And I think we're starting to see a shift. The Mayor Swearingen is a huge supporter of business growth here in Fresno and entrepreneurship as a whole. The school districts are really getting behind innovation and entrepreneurship, and it's now trickling up. Instead of it usually trickling down, we're trickling up. We met with somebody this week from the state that's wanting to have stuff implemented across the state with innovation entrepreneurship. So there's really good stuff happening. It's just taking somebody out there talking about it and sharing it. And with today's social media, it's getting better.
And that's what I was going to ask you next.
It is getting better.
How much more successful is a company if they're on social media?
Personally, I think they're much more successful. And it's just mostly because the generations are looking to social media. I mean, they're looking for social media stuff, and you have to have all of those pieces in a really good marketing plan. You need your traditional stuff, you need your digital, and you need your social media. I was talking with somebody this week about social media is almost like a personal referral. If I tell you that I want you to like a page or I send you a tweet or something along those lines, it's essentially I'm giving you my reference that that's a good company. That's what you want to do. So maybe it's just me personally. I'm pretty cautious of what I send around people to like or stuff. But it connects you. There's a gentleman here in town who started a company on social media management when social media really took off. And he had connected with Susie Orman on Twitter, who reviewed his business plan.
Who would have thought Susie Orman is going to check her Twitter page and help this gentleman with a business plan? That's amazing.
Yeah, and I think normally she probably charges $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 to review a business plan. And he connected with her on Twitter, and she said, "Send it my way." And he looked over it and gave him, literally butchered it, but made it better. And he's now, he's hugely successful in what he's doing.
And the fact that Susie Orman kind of endorsed her, his product.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Ag. I can't get you off the hook without talking about ag in the Valley. Is there some creative stuff coming out of the Valley with ag, and what are some examples?
There are some really cool things coming out of the Valley with ag. We just did last year with a partnership with Fresno City College and Britain. We had the BritCA activity where we had a team here that was challenged to create a food product that could be manufactured. And so then Britain had the same challenge and things. We had students from Fresno City College, Fresno State working together, marketing, culinary, packaging, engineering, all different fields working together on this. They ended up creating this pretty cool tamale kind of idea. So there are really awesome things coming out of here. We have a Coleman Fellow on campus at Fresno State, Klaus, who is a culinary genius.
Is that Klaus the cook?
Yes. And he's really infused entrepreneurship principles in what he's teaching. I don't know if you know this, but I think Fresno State is the only campus that sells wine.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think we are the only.
Another great fact
exactly.
on San Joaquin Spotlight.
And, we sell the wine. We've got that farmer's market. I'm completely addicted right now to our jalapeno barbecue sauce that comes out of Fresno State, which is seasonal based on what's going on.
I got to try that.
Oh, you brought it. It's amazing.
Spicy or not spicy?
You know what? I'm a big spice fan, so I don't think it's overly spicy, but my mom, who won't eat, anything too hot, thinks it's too spicy. But it's a pretty in the middle kind of a thing. It's really good. There's amazing things coming out of our ag.
We've talked about the great stuff, and we can't sugarcoat everything.
No.
So let's talk about failure.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs and failure. Should they be discouraged?
No. You learn more from a failure than you will from a success. You learn what not to do. Sam Walton, who started Walmart, didn't start with an immediate success. He had failures along the way. Einstein had failures. All of the greats had failures. You learn from those and you keep moving. It's what you decide to do with that failure.
We mentioned the mayor a couple of times on this program, wonderful lady.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk a little bit about how important it is to get that government or that leadership behind some of these projects, because a lot of people maybe will say, oh, they're just politicians, but how important is it to bring them to the table?
It's really important. Particularly when you're talking about entrepreneurship, it's the backbone of the economy. The entire United States started with entrepreneurs. We're creating jobs, we're creating revenue, we're creating tax bases, we're creating all of these things. So small business is huge. And when you get the support of your politicians or your city council or your school districts and stuff, it makes a difference. They've got some clout. They can help push things through and connect you on the right things and want to hear what you're doing.
It takes money to start a business.
It
We
does.
all know that. You need the space, you need the product. So do you work with financial institutions as well, or do you have investors, or do you stay out of that role?
We actually, the Lyles Center and Fresno State's Foundation have created a venture capitalist kind of funding.
Interesting.
Yes, and it's really new. We are just now accepting applications for some of our mini grants to help businesses get up and running. But financing is really important. There are amazing organizations throughout the valley that focus on that, the SBDCs, the SCORE, et cetera. They're in place for that kind of financial stuff. There are loans if you're a women-owned business that are specific to being a women-owned business, minority-owned business. So there's opportunities out there.
Are you seeing a lot of minorities or women coming through? Long time ago it was just quote unquote males coming up with these ideas. Have we come far? Has that changed?
We have, and it's really, the minority-owned businesses have really come up, and now women-owned businesses are really climbing as well. We're seeing a surge of women-owned businesses that are taking off.
How can people find out more information about this conference that's coming up, and tell our audience a little bit about what's happening and who should attend?
Sure. So the Central Valley Venture Forum is on October 29th. It's being held at the Sevag Center at Fresno State. It starts at 8:30 with registration. We have some panelists, and then we have Ronnie Lott as one of our keynote speakers, and Jeffrey Michaels as our luncheon keynote. They can get information at valleyventureforum.com. Tickets are $70 a piece. Students, if you have a valid student ID, are $25 a piece. It gives you the whole day of activities. It's really important to attend if you're interested in starting a business, or if you've got a business idea and you're looking for ways to pitch to venture capitalists, if you're looking for inspiration, anybody can attend. You don't even have to be starting a business or own a business. You could be just interested in what's going on.
You mentioned it earlier with this gentleman and his business and Susie Orman, but I want to talk briefly about business plans. How much work do they really require, and are they even necessary?
They do require a lot of work, and I do think they are necessary. They really help you put your ideas and your plan and your future on paper and in writing. It's, they can be one-page deals to 200 pages. It really just depends on what your business is and what you're trying to accomplish and what the bank is wanting if you're going after a loan. But it really helps if you put something on paper. It makes it real, which is the first part of it, and it gives you a roadmap of things to follow. So,
how would you, other than a roadmap, how would you describe what a business plan is?
a business
Tough
plan,
question.
tough question, and it's totally subject to whoever is doing one. A business plan will give you the roadmap. So, as I said, a marketing plan, projected sales, projected income, projected total number of units, your cost of goods, your break-even point, what your monthly expenses are supposed to be. I could decide today that I want to open a cake pop stand and have no idea that cake batter is going to cost me this, or that you have to have a commercial kitchen, things along those lines. So it really focuses your idea into an achievable way to do it.
Now let's talk about the Lyles Center. You've mentioned several cool things that's happening there, but generally, what is the Lyles Center?
The Lyles Center is the place to come if you've got a business idea, or you've got a business and you're wanting to grow it, or you're not quite sure if your invention is patentable, or you've got intellectual property, you've got this amazing logo or this thing and you want to copyright it or trademark it. We're there for that. We are the all-in-one center for entrepreneurship, small business development.
And you don't have to be a student. You can just be anybody in the community that comes knocking.
You can be Joe Schmo off the street who's got this business idea, and you can come in and we'll talk with you about it.
How can people find out more information about
the Lyles
Center?
Sure, they can visit us on the lylescenter.com. We are on the Fresno State's campus, and we're really easy to find. We're in the building right next door to the Save Mart Center. We're on the second floor, and you're more than welcome to stop in and see us. We'd be happy to give you a tour.
How strategic is that, being at Fresno State?
It's a really, it's our executive director, Dr. Tim Stearns, is also the entrepreneurship chair for the program, and it was his dream 15 years ago to have this, and having the university support us and be behind us and what we're doing is huge. You're seeing a lot more entrepreneurship education across all campuses.
There you go. See, he had a dream, he had a vision, and now you have this very successful center. That's all for this edition of San Joaquin Spotlight. For the volunteer crew that made this and every production possible, thank you. Thank you to our audience members tuning in to 90.7 FM KFSR Fresno. Thank you to our viewers on CMAC. And thank you to Casey for coming and talking to us about some cool stuff happening here in the Valley. I'm your host, Sevag Tateosian. Next week, we have a new program for you. Thank you.